ladies and gentlemen. This is Stan Houston. Welcome to another edition on this President's Day in the United States of America. Some people get to have a holiday. They get the day off to celebrate President's Day. And which presidents are they talking about? Because we're supposed to honor the presidents, but some of them weren't terribly honorable. So what could it be? Well, it did get me to thinking about the presidents, and a wonderful quotation that hit me right between the eyes. And here's what it said. Do you want to be useful? Remember, many people who seek comfort are living in a condition of uselessness. Many people who are seeking safety, security, are living in a condition of uselessness. Well, do you want to be useful? Do you want to be fruitful, profitable? Do you want to be successful? Do you want to be useful? Let's talk about that today, just for a few minutes, because you're busy today. But I think this might be helpful to us, and maybe a little clarity is always good, no matter what you're doing, as Monday meets the marketplace, and the program begins right now. Once again, now here's the deal. Certain people have the day off. The government workers around America, they get the day off. A number of banks and banking people get the day off. And there are a number of other financial organizations and institutions and colleges and sometimes schools and universities. A lot of people have the holiday, but it's not a universal holiday. There's a lot of people who just have to work for a living, and on this day, they'll continue to do just that. They had to show up for work on Monday, and they have to put in a full day. Well, I'm one of those, and perhaps you are too. And so you don't have a whole lot of time to spend on Monday evening, unless it might be helpful. Well, maybe it is. Who are the great presidents? Well, actually, the idea of President's Day was right in the middle between two of the celebrated birthdays, which was Abraham Lincoln, who was oftentimes thought of as the greatest of the American presidents, the one who was president during the tragic Civil War and then tried to bring the country back together. And unfortunately, this great man was shot down and killed before his term could ever be completed. And the work of reconciliation that he deeply desired went astray. But here's the point, and I think you know, not only was that his fate, but he lived a very difficult life in many ways. Well, the other president is the first one, George Washington. His birthday is February 22nd. And I remember talking about that, and we would figure out many, many years ago is just how old George Washington would be. So our teacher had us do the math exercise, and I remember that. And there was one young gal who was kind of a character, and she delighted herself and delighted all of us as she jumped up and gave the number of how old George Washington would be if he were still alive today. And she got it right. And she was so happy. Again, crazy little memories come back to us. Why do I remember that? I can even remember her name. She was a very charming little African-American gal, and she went by the name Iris. And of course, sometimes she would actually wear a flower in her hair to commemorate her name. When you get older, there's a lot of things that come your way. Well, the reason is I came across these quotations, something like this. Here we go. And this is from one of my favorite books, about 100 years old, called Streams in the Desert. Now, here are somebody's definitions. Okay, definitions of greatness. First of all, power is developed by resistance. Power requires pressure. If you want to be powerful, embrace pressure. Here's another one. Tribulation is the way to triumph. Tribulation's imprint is on all great things and on all great people. Crowns are cast in crucibles. Wow. Anybody want to sign up? Grief has always been the lot of greatness. Grief has always been the lot of greatness. And want to sign up? A hero is not fed on sweets. Daily his own heart he eats. Chambers of the great are often jails, and headwinds are right for royal sails. Every great book has been written in the author's blood. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Paul, St. Paul, Luther, Savonarola, John Wesley, and all the rest of the mighty spiritual army, they came through great tribulation to their place of power. It continues on. And then I was caught by this one. Okay? This brings us to the subject. Comparative uselessness. Comparative uselessness is the condition of freedom from suffering. One of the great lessons that many people are discovering, because we're talking about, as some of you know, we are involved with a number of people in, no, it's not change management. That'll never do. It could be that maybe you could be a change maker, a change creator, an instrument of change, a change agent. And you could not only deal with change, you could create good and positive change. On the other hand, maybe it doesn't make it to just change things. No matter how good you change them, maybe you have to transform them. That the change has to be actually forming a different person, a different thing, something obviously bearing some resemblance to the past thing, but it's, as one of my favorite songs from the 50s is, "You make me feel brand new." I oftentimes pick that thing up by the old Monarchs and Stylistics. You make me feel brand new. Listen to the song sometime. Maybe I'll play it sometimes. But what does it mean to actually have somebody make you feel brand new? Transformed. So there's where we are going. My daughter, a number of years ago, wrote a book in which she gave me some credit for inspiring, but it was a motivational book based on her experience as a young woman going to the big city of New York City and trying to make it in New York City. And a common, ordinary, but very bright and aspirational young woman, left the University of Minnesota, got a U-Haul truck and went to Brooklyn, found an apartment that was pretty shabby, but got a job and said, I want to be in New York City and I want to be a star in the publishing world. I want to be a great writer. And if you can make it in New York City, you can make it anywhere. Well, later on, she wrote a book called How to Be Useful, and it was based on her experience that no matter how cute and clever and smart you were, all those things that we aspire to. She said, the key question is, are you useful? Is there something about you that is useful? And so the question is, how can I be useful? Well, then that quotation is that, unless you have endured or maybe are enduring some difficulties, some real pressure, could it be that the mark of usefulness is oftentimes the scar of suffering? One of my lines is, oftentimes before you can reach for the stars, which is a nice thing to do, you may have to endure the scars. Well, here's the deal. Both Washington and Lincoln had very difficult lives, and they were extremely challenged by them. And their success was never one that they knew for sure would ever happen. I had to simply say to a friend the other day that as a result of my own situation, this is one of the first times in my life that I'm not quite sure what's going to happen to me. There's a story there, of course, but maybe that's true for you, and maybe it's true for all of us. We're not really quite sure what's going to happen to us. So, could it be that the mark of usefulness will oftentimes be the person who has gone through it? I mean, here it is. I look at it, and it is written for February 19th. Like I said, this is my book that's over 100 years old, and it says, hey, comparative uselessness is the condition of freedom from suffering. There we go. Could that be true? I'm Stan Houston. Just on this President's Day, as we think about what makes a person great. By the way, in our coaching experience, I oftentimes ask people, do you want to be great? As I say, do you want to be great? Well, of course, I seldom get a good answer. Well, Stan, what do you mean by greatness? Great. That's exactly the question. What do you mean by greatness? How would you define being great? Can you give it a definition? And do you want to be great? Do you want to be great at something? Great in who you are, great in what you do, great in what you have? Do you want to be great? Okay. What does great mean to you? And could it be that usefulness and greatness only come from those who know that in their greatness reaching for the stars, they truly had to endure the suffering and the scars? Just let that sit on your head for this President's Day. I'm Stan Houston, and we'll be back. Off we go. There are three things that I do quite well. First of all, I'm a longtime business performance coach, and we have ways to actually help you in your life and your business, particularly if you're an entrepreneur. We do that well. We've been quite successful at it. And in doing so, we've had a lot of hits come our way. We have been betrayed, we have been broken, and we have been broke. And but however, working together, we've been able to help many people who were not destined for success to be very successful. And by the way, many of them overcame, and have overcome great and significant obstacles, and they went through fear and pain to get there, but they did so. We're also 45 years as a broadcaster, so this modern media called podcasting, as I'm offering today, I just got done with a Rotary meeting, and I told them that if they wanted their Rotary clubs to go and grow, they might have to change them and then quit sending out boring memos. They might have to learn the art of radio podcasting to reach their members and to attract new members. So if you'd like to learn how to be on the radio and have your own radio program and radio station, in fact, I'm setting one up today, a new radio station for a new group that wants to build their business and make it thrive. And we can do that. So those are two of the three things I do. And the third thing, it all depends on you. What could you use some help with? What would you like to change? Right now, what would you, on this February 19th, what would you want to have different in your life? Maybe I can help you. I don't know, but if I don't know if I can help you, I probably know somebody who can help you. So tell me, would you like to be great? What would you like to change in your life? 24 is off to a bad start as far as the world is concerned. How do you want to make it better as far as you are concerned? All right? Reach out to me at stanhusted@gmail.com, stanhusted@gmail.com. All the best and blessings, and I mean that. Best and blessings to you. And may you be very, very useful. Take care, because I care about you too. Bye for now.